Before we get into this week's episode, I wanted to let you know that we are opening up our signature course the very first week of November. We've changed the name of it from the Complete Wedding Videography course to the How to Film Weddings course, and we just finished re-recording the entire thing. It's been a few years since we recorded the Complete Wedding Videography course, and Nick and I got together and re-recorded everything. Couple things to know about this. If you've already purchased the course, we're going to be updating it and giving it to you for free. So log into your account and you'll be able to find it. If you don't know what our course is, it is the handbook for wedding filmmakers. It's everything you need to know about business, shooting, and editing. And Nick and I walk through the 10 steps that you need to do as a wedding filmmaker to continue to level up your business year after year, to continue to cycle upward with your chart, what you're charging, yes, but more so the kinds of couples you're working with. Do you work with the couples you want to be working with? Are you getting paid what you want to get paid? And then finally, is the work that you're creating invigorating your soul? Is it making you just excited? Is it making you feel fulfilled? This is what this course is going to do. It's going to teach you the 10 steps that we have done over the last 17 years to not only have a six-figure business, but to not get tired of doing this job, to be more invigorated now than ever, to be booking those dream clients in those dream locations. And I went through over the last couple of years and I've really dissected everything that it's taken for me to go from a brand charging $750 for my first wedding to now booking weddings over $20,000. And not just booking weddings for $20,000, but working with couples that absolutely freaking love me. They love working with me, not just because they like me as a person, but they love the brand. They love the work. They love the result. So the very first week of November, we'll be opening the doors. We're going to have a lot of giveaways, a lot of things involved, but I just wanted to pop in here before we started this week's episode so that you could know the Complete Wedding Video course is now the How to Film Weddings course, and it's coming out the very first week of November. If you have questions about it, just send us an email to hello@howtofilmweddings.com or send us a DM at How to Film Weddings on Instagram. There's going to be a lot of information here on the podcast as well as in our Facebook group. We are very excited about this. I mean, like very excited. You can head to howtofilmweddings.com to check out all the information. And with that, let's go ahead and hop into this week's episode. Hello and welcome to the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is John Bunn, and we are back with a brand new episode today with my friends Vanessa and Ivo. They're based in Portugal, some new European friends. It's an incredible, incredible episode. We talk about their story. Guys, their work is stunning. They do video and photo, and honestly, some of my favorite wedding filmmakers on planet Earth. They do such a great job. The quality is incredible. And we talk about how that has impacted their brand over the last 10 plus years. It's a great conversation. Honestly, I'm amped up after having it. I did want to mention before we hop in the episode, our good friends over at VidFlow. VidFlow is our choice to upload our films and deliver them with custom links to our couples. You can upload your footage, they have custom templates, and you can deliver your films in a way that's not the typical Dropbox link. You can embed it onto your website. They back up the footage and the films for 10 plus years. It's kind of perfect. There's a lot of different things you can do to customize it and just make it more beautiful. It's a great way to take that experience to the next level. So if you're just emailing a link or uploading to YouTube or Vimeo, I would highly encourage you to check out howtofilmweddings.com/vidflow, where we have a promo code to get you a percentage off for the year. They have paper project options. They have subscription options, and it's quite affordable to offer your couple something super beautiful. So with that, I want to head on over to this week's episode with Vanessa and Ivo. Well, welcome to Vanessa and Ivo, all the way from Portugal. I've been a big fan of yours for a while. Why don't you say hello, introduce yourself to the How to Film Weddings community.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us, John.
Absolutely. If you don't follow these people, their work, you're failing. You will be out of business in 2024 if you're not following these two on Instagram. I'm kidding. No, I found you guys, I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years ago. I've been patiently asking, for a couple of years. It feels like, hey, do you guys want to be on the podcast? Could you be on? And like, it feels like your schedules are quite busy, traveling all over the world, doing incredible videos and photos for weddings. But I'd love to just kind of hear a little pitch of like who you guys are, what your brand is, what you focus on, the types of weddings you're shooting right now. Just a little elevator pitch of what you guys are all about with your brand.
Do you want to start?
Okay. So we're Vanessa and Ivo, and we're based in Portugal. We usually say that we are a little bit more specialized in destination weddings. As you know, Europe is a very big destination for American
Weddings.
weddings, American couples, Asian couples, and I don't know, maybe especially after the pandemic, things shifted a little bit, and all of a sudden we're doing lots of international work, traveling all over Europe and even the United States and other places. And I don't know, we try to go with the flow during the wedding day. We try to be really casual and natural. I know that if you just skim our website or our social media, you will probably get the idea that we work mostly with, classic, elegant type of client. But I think it's something that naturally started to happen, and we just, I don't know, we try to explore a little bit of whatever comes our way.
Yes. And so you guys are based in Portugal, which if you're, a listener in the States, that's just right next to Spain, right over there in Europe. Portuguese.
Yes, thank you for that.
We speak Portuguese. And also, Vanessa, you're from Venezuela. So you grew up in Venezuela. I would love to know just kind of a little bit of the story of how the two of you, what is this tale? How did you two become you two? I believe you're a husband and wife married team. And so how'd that come about?
So I was born in Venezuela, and I came to Portugal when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
I'm from a part of Portugal where immigration was very common in the 70s. So my grandparents went to Venezuela, and then my parents, and me and my sister were born there, but a civil war started there, and we came back to Portugal, as every immigrant usually in Portugal do. They come back to Portugal. Very quickly, I went to college in a city called Covilhã, and I studied PR and communications and marketing. I did, and Ivo studied there, but while we were studying, we never crossed paths.
Interesting.
After I was studying, I started working. I work in PR companies, and then I went to Covilhã again, to the college city, and I started working at a theater company, doing their PR stuff and communications and marketing. And then it was when I met Ivo, because my company needed to do some video. Video advertising?
Yeah.
For TV. And he worked at a cinema company, a production company, and that's when we met. Do you want to tell?
Yeah, but it was all very professional.
Sure.
We met through work, but it was professional. So I studied at the same school that Vanessa did. I have a degree on film editing and sound design, and then I did a master's in directing, and eventually I started to work in production companies and stuff like that. And that's how we met eventually, through a company where I was working. But we only started doing weddings by accident a few years later, because the school actually had a program where they were incubating new companies, and they tried to get professors to run the companies, and it was mostly to create an opportunity for students to work in the real world. But as you know, it's not very easy to get work when you're starting in film or advertising, and we got a call from a local photographer that was looking for videographers. And by that time, Vanessa had already started to show me websites like
Green wedding shoes.
Green Wedding Shoes, and I started to see wedding videos a little bit differently, because when I was studying, people usually said that if you can't make it in film, at least you always have wedding videos. But they said it like in a mean way.
Sure.
But we decided to try it out, make some money. But eventually I started enjoying it a lot. And the next year we left the company, we moved town, me and Vanessa, and we started doing it full time. And this was back in 2012, and we started doing it full time, exclusively wedding videos in 2013. So it's been a while.
Yeah. I loved, whenever I was kind of doing a little bit of my homework on the two of you, I love seeing both sides of the equation, where, Vanessa's the outgoing, extroverted drama queen in a good way, loves the attention, and Ivo is like the tech nerd that like has his master's in cinema and has all these degrees and stuff. And it's a really perfect blend, and then your all's personality obviously combined. It's a great combination. And so, yes, we've heard a lot people saying, hey, if you can't do film, you can always fall back on weddings. And what I've seen over the last maybe 10 years or so is a lot of people that are actually really great at cinema saying, no, this is the direction we want to go. I think about Sculpting with Time, or I think about some of these other, Ricardo, or different people that are very cinematic in their shooting, their editing. They're very skilled. They have the technical knowledge. And then you add somebody with an advertising and marketing background. It sounds kind of like a perfect match. So you started doing weddings after you met each other in a completely professional way, of course.
Of course.
And then, of course, what did it kind of look like after, you started going in 2012 and 2013? Because I know now, like you said, a lot of your films, you're traveling all over Europe, all over, you've been to the States, you're going all over, you're doing workshops, you've got all this, but like your films have probably evolved a little bit. But like, when it comes to like the story of you just started, now, how did it get going? How did you start to really hone in on who it is you wanted to serve, the kinds of films you wanted to make? Because I'm sure there were some growing pains in there and figuring things out. So you're in it, you're full time. What does life look like at that point, and how did you push forward and all that?
Well, when we started, like Ivo said, it was through a photographer. So he was like, no, this is how I want things made. You go there, you don't talk to the couple, you're just like doing how do you say reportagem?
Yeah, reportage,
A reportage of the
documentary
day.
style. Yeah.
So you don't have to do there. We didn't even go with the couple to make some shoot of them. We were just like, okay, the photographer would say to us, I'm going to make their photos. You stay there, or do you want to come? Oh no, we stay.
Yeah.
So we didn't have like these cool shots that we like to do now with them, like them walking together, just hugging, just a bit of romance. We didn't have that. So we went there, we were filming, and then he's the one who edited. He tried to do something nice for the couple.
Yeah, we really didn't know how things were. We started with like some really old school photographer, and we thought that's how things were. We didn't, at the time, it didn't even cross our minds that we could do things differently. But probably the year after that, 2013, maybe then when we decided that no, we want to do our own thing. We want to take time with the client before the wedding. We just don't want to get there on the day and meet them for the first time. And I think it was around then when because I skipped this part, but we had a different brand back then. We were called Something Blue. We still carry that name for our workshop. It's the Something Blue workshop, so it's kind of a sentimental thing.
Mm-hmm.
But back then we decided that it was probably for the best if we just dropped the brand and just go by our own names to try and create a connection with the client. So it wasn't just the videographers or Something Blue team, it was Vanessa and Ivo. So that was probably one of the first steps we took. We just wanted to make it a little bit more personal with the client, to create a connection. At the time, at least in Portugal, I know that in the States it was probably different back then, but here in Portugal, video was still booked together with the photography. So it wasn't very usual for a couple to book a photographer and then book a videographer separately. So we tried to explore that a little bit. And like you said, we went through lots of growing pains, and there were some times where we thought that we weren't making enough money, maybe we should do something else. But I mean, like, you already know this. You have your own workshops and your gatherings, and you know that it's not something that you change from one year to the next. It's little steps that you take, and eventually you find yourself in a place that's new, and you get to do what you really want, and you start to charge what you feel is fair for you. So that it was a process. It wasn't easy, but we
Yeah, one
eventually,
of
yeah.
the first things were to make this I remember perfectly was to make the couples look at us and not to the photographer.
Yes.
It's one of the I think it's one of the first growing pains when you go like, okay, now for me, can you look to me now? And they're like, oh, you were there.
Yes. Yeah. And through that time, I mean, it's social media is just kind of getting going at that time. I mean, Instagram was new, and
It was Facebook.
Facebook, I remember the Facebook pages and getting, oh man, Facebook likes, please like my page, that kind of thing. So, oh man, that was the time. And so you were doing video. Am I correct to say you're doing, like, I saw a bunch of beautiful photos now on your site. When did you add that? Who does that? Is that you, Vanessa? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I started doing that, like I took a step and started doing that like this year. This year I say I'm a photographer. Up until now I was like, I do photography for friends or for elopements. I was a little bit like I didn't know where I was. And now I can say, I know I say it with more confidence, like, okay, I'm here and I also do photography.
Good.
Because
Yeah.
for us, it's easy. It's a bit easy. We have the eye, we can compose a shot. So instead of doing like that, sometimes you do it like that. So
Yep. Yeah. And so for the listeners out there, like the work, hopefully you'll go over to their page and look at their work, but absolutely stunning. A beautiful, like, luxurious look mixed with creativity, just next level editing, next level color, next level sound. Everything about it is like technically proficient. It's great. It's unreal. Like, I'm just sitting here going, man, I suck at what I do. These guys are so good. So tell me a little bit about, you went to school, Ivo, for the technical side of things. How have you, obviously if you're in college or university in 8 to 10 or 2006,
2003
Okay.
up until 2010.
Okay. So that's a long time ago. Obviously technology has changed, and editing, that was the G5, I think, so Mac computer era or something, or lots of stuff has changed. So what does it look like for you to stay sharp when it comes to the technical side of things? Because it seems like by looking at the footage, it's just like, I don't know anybody else that's doing it better when it comes to technically. I know that Vanessa's probably like, please stop saying this to Ivo. He's not gonna, his head is like exploding. Yes. Okay.
no, but I'm with you. I feel the same. Even people that I really admire, I think he has a sensibility in editing that, we can find that so easy.
So how do you, I mean, I know that a lot of it is taste and finding inspiration from art or from things like that, but To people out there that aspire to get to that kind of level, what are some of the things that maybe you would tell them, or some of the things that you're always focused on to take your films to the next level, whether that's in shooting it or in editing it?
I think that, of course, it all comes down to taste and personal preference. But every time someone, either at our workshops or social media or something like that, when people ask us, how can I do something better, or how can I generally improve the quality of our films, usually I would start with the audio. We focus a lot on the audio aspect, and I think that just to give some context, in Portugal, the film scene, the Portuguese film scene, is not very good, mostly because of the audio. Because you go and watch a Portuguese film and you're used to subtitles, and you have lots of difficulties understanding what's happening. So I use that as an example for our students here. If you improve the quality of your sound, you will improve the general quality of your film. And then after that, it's mostly about personal preferences. Like, do you prefer to use a gimbal? Maybe you can get some more stable shots. Do you prefer to use a tripod or a monopod, or shoot handheld? Do you have, maybe you need a different camera? But I think that the technical aspect of it, we have some amazing cameras nowadays. We have, if you want to grade your footage, you can just go online and you can look for the perfect LUT to your footage. I think it's becoming easier and easier. You just have to do your research. And YouTube nowadays, you can get lost in it. You just find lots of information. You have workshops. But I think that the one thing that most people just glance is audio. I think it's really, really, really important, because you can make a pretty wedding film, but if you don't have a story to tell, it's never going to be as good. There's a wedding filmmaker, a Spanish wedding filmmaker, and now I forgot his name. Montoro. And he usually says, if I can't get the camera there, at least I will have the audio. So I take that as not a mantra, but I think it's a very good advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when watching and listening through your films, of course, like, the audio is what I would consider, top line, top of the story is strong. The quality of the audio is strong. The use of the music and the score and the sound bits and everything all layers together. And I think that a lot of people, like you said, something that really resonated with me is, like, I keep seeing people that they're in their second or third year of filming weddings, and they'll submit a film for us to review. And I'm just like, how are you doing this already in your third year? This is crazy. And they're like, well, I've got 10-bit 4K 60 on my Sony, and I've got these LUTs, and I've got this color grading, and I know these lights, and I've learned. And I was just like, the amount of people that are, like, feeling behind in their third or fourth year, whenever someone like you has been at this craft for 20 now. I mean, if you started in 2003 with, your degree, it's like, that's 20 years this year, which I think we might be the same age, because that's when I started going to college. But, and I see this development, this work that you guys are doing, and it's, the places you're getting to go, the being featured in magazines and featured in these productions. I'd love to hear kind of some of the story of the growth of the business. Like, you had this technical aspect where it's just like, you're taking your films to the next level. It's obviously beautiful, but your work can only get you so far. So maybe, Vanessa, what has the marketing side looked like behind the scenes to get to where you're at? Because not only are you getting to do workshops and different things like that, but you're traveling to, I mean, just even on the website, you know, it's Barcelona and Italy and Paris and Tuscany and Andorra and Greece and Bordeaux and Madrid and Rome and Florence and Morocco and Cannes and going on and on. It's like, how did you build this brand? What went into, what years went into it? What time? Like, what was your viewpoint and your approach to getting to where you are today?
We have we know that we have an amount of luck, always an amount of luck, because the first wedding we did in Spain, it was out of luck. We already thought that we were, because every year you always think, oh, this year I'm the greatest video filmmaker in the world. And the next year you think the same, because you do you do a video that you're really proud of, or you go to a venue or to a country that you really wanted to go and you can do that. And you're like, no, this year I made it. And we always start like with little things. Our first thing is video. It's very difficult for us to submit video for blogs, wedding websites. They're not very interested in publishing just video. They always ask for, okay, the video is great, but how about the photos? Who was the photographer? And sometimes the photographer was not that great, or the photographer didn't want to submit those photos to the wedding blog, and our video was great. So we had a couple of years like fighting that problem, because we couldn't, how would we take our brand to the other people that didn't know us without a photographer? That was what we thought. Then we understood, okay, we started with Facebook in 2009. I think Facebook went on, I don't know, 2007. So the three of us grew up with it. So it was like kind of natural. Like for teenagers now, TikTok, it's very natural for them to put the phone and dance and do a little dance. For us, it was natural, like to talk to people, to upload the photos or the videos and say, hi, I'm here. When we started, people didn't understand how we didn't have like a shop in a mall doing, hi, we do wedding video. We were just working at home and uploading our videos to Facebook and to our website. So I grew up with that, so it was easy. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I really like. So it's not difficult for me to go through our videos with a cold mind. I don't know if this is a good translation for English, but like a neutral look and see, yes, okay, this is good. I can upload this. No, this is not good to upload. No, I like this shot. No, I don't like, because I look at it not about the romanticism or if it's beautiful, if it's in a good place. I look, oh, maybe my client will like this or not. So it's very easy for me to do that thing. And we started little. We started with one photographer that had a great work and one wedding blog that accepted just to publish a video. And we had our first wedding in Spain. And we were like, okay, this is working.
And this was back in 2014.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So it started like, it was little steps every year. Mm-hmm. So like in 2020, we really wanted to go to Italy. We were like, okay, we're not going there for weddings, so we're going there for a vacation. And now we're, in the last 2 years, we've been there like 6 times, and I'm very happy because I love pizza. It's easy.
Yeah, I think that like you were saying, we were just talking about the technical aspect of it, and I think that there are many videographers out there and photographers as well, that they mostly work alone. It's just like a one-person show. And we're lucky that since Vanessa doesn't edit, I do all the editing, she can focus just on that. And the thing is that so I see her work. She spends the entire day just answering emails, doing follow-ups, working on the CRM, planning our social media posts, because it's Instagram, and then it's Pinterest, and then it's LinkedIn
and
Google and our Google business page, and all those different social media sites that need to be fed. And then you have all the directories and other websites that you are paying to be there as well, and you need to update it, and you need to submit content, and it's a full-time job. And the thing is that most videographers, they say, okay, so this year I'm gonna invest like 5K, so I'm gonna get a new camera and a new lens. And it's not very common, unfortunately, for them to think, this year I'm going to a workshop, or this year I'm going to spend, I don't know, $1,000 and be on Junebug or be on some other website. And because you have, unfortunately, the truth is very simple. You have to spend money to show up. So you have to spend money on AdWords to be on Google, or you have to spend money on someone to do your SEO so you can get a nice ranking on Google as well. You have to spend money to be on other websites. And I know, I see Vanessa work, and it's a full-time job.
Yeah, and when we started, our goal was, I started like he was teaching me how to edit, so it was better, two people filming and editing. So, but suddenly I was like, okay, I will learn this, and suddenly we had like 20 emails to answer, or Facebook had to be fed, or messages. And nowadays it's impossible. Now, it's not impossible, but I believe that it's very difficult for someone who's alone and doesn't have someone to help, that it's not easy to be a filmmaker and an editor and a PR person, and I don't know, everything else. We need to be an accountant, publicist, I don't know, everything we need to be in our lives.
Yeah, but you can never neglect the power of SEO, because like Vanessa was saying, we did our first wedding in Spain in 2014, and then next year we did two, and then the year after that we started doing other places, and then we've never been to Italy, and then all of a sudden we just start posting there, and then we're doing like 3 or 4 weddings a year in Italy. So I think it's not a coincidence. I think there's, the algorithms, you never know how stuff
And you
works.
start meeting people that work there, and
networking with wedding planners, because you go there once, you meet someone, and then they refer you to the next client. That's also why we are such big enthusiasts for networking and going to workshops. I mean, just book a plane, book a flight, and instead of buying a new lens, just go to a new workshop next year, and
Yes,
great things will come.
Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films? Look no further. Our friends over at VidFlow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. VidFlow is pay per use with no large upfront costs or commitment, and you can cancel at any time. VidFlow offers a premium viewing experience for all of your couples, accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years of hosting and an experience for your couples that will blow them away. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/vidflow, where you can save 20% off a yearly business membership by using promo code HTFW20. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way. Give your couples something to rave about by using VidFlow.
I love all of that. And it's fun to kind of reminisce about Facebook in 2012, 13. I feel like 2009 or so is when business pages kind of got onto the scene. I know that I had a Facebook in 2003, but there was not business stuff back then. It was very new. Like, you had to have a college email account to be on it. But I remember, like you said, just being naturally able to use Facebook. We were teenagers or young 20s at that point, and it was just like, yeah, why would we go? Because everybody used to have a studio. You had to have a location for people to come to, and then with the internet getting faster and easier to get onto, I remember when the internet happened. Like, I remember getting the internet at the house for the first time. Like, wow, let's use our phone line and get online or whatever, and just that whole idea now to where, man, you can have your cell phone and you can upload your stuff and you can get on Instagram or TikTok or whatever the app of choice is for people, and you can go and grow with $0. It's just showing up. But what you said about the amount of time that it takes to do that, it is very difficult for someone solo. Like, my wife is not my business partner in the fact that she's not helping answer emails or anything like that. So I hire editors to help me get my films to a certain point and collaborate, with them and work very hard with the editors, but so that I can do the social media and answer the emails or different things. And so realizing that, your standard movie house, your standard production company has a director and it has a audio engineer and a lighting person and grips and all these different things to put on this. And then once they get the film done, the cinematographers hand the footage over to the editors and the director is working with them. And then there's sound designers and colorists and like all these different things that go into it. And then they hand it over to the marketing department to cut trailers and to get people on the shows with the talk shows or the whatever to push the movie or, start running the Facebook ads. So there's all this stuff going on all at the same time. And so if you're doing this on your own, it could be a lot. And so you get that first wedding in Spain, and then you start, you said you went to Italy, you booked a trip on your own, I guess, right? Is that what you said?
No, we had planned for 2020 a trip to Italy for a vacation, and then
right.
COVID happened, so we didn't went to our vacation. And then I don't really remember how the first one.
The first one was actually supposed to be in Scotland.
Oh, it was in
but
Elopement.
Also due to COVID, they delayed the wedding and then decided to do it in Italy. And then after that, yeah. For us,
if it was Scotland, it was perfect. If it was Italy, perfect. So.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of a snowball effect because there's also another aspect of it is that even when we're working domestically in Portugal, like 99% of our clients are foreigners, mostly Americans, Canadians. So we've been in the destination wedding for a long time. Mostly, I think that probably from 2018, most of our clientele has been for destination weddings, mostly in Portugal. So we've been in the business of destination weddings for a while. It's just that starting 2021, most of our work started to shift to outside of Portugal.
Okay.
But I mean, it was just the traveling that got longer because in the end it was basically the same for us, dealing with foreign couples and all the vibe of a destination wedding, which we love. It was something that we've been doing for a long time.
And I think that for couples, if they see that you've already been to that place or that you're used to travel, those little worries they may have, how are you getting from the airport to the venue? Do I have to provide a car? And they're like, don't worry. If you want, we can take care of everything, because for us it's more or less normal to pick up a flight, then pick up a car, then drive. And they're like, do you know, it's like when you're going to a new venue and someone asks, do you know the venue? Do you want to go there before to see where is the best spot to film? And you're like, no, I got this, because I don't know the venue, but you have the eye and you look for something beautiful or where the light is coming. It's a memory, not a memory, a muscle you have trained to find the best spots. And I think that for a client, it's easier if they're used to travel, so they'll go anywhere.
Yeah, and the thing about Europe is that we probably take less time to fly to Italy than you take from LA to, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the States.
Yes.
So, and yeah, I think it's not a coincidence that since we've been doing destination weddings for so long, like if you're an American couple and you're looking for a place to get married in Europe, and you see like another American couple that got married in Lisbon, it's not very different to get married in Mallorca or to get married in Tuscany or Paris or the south of France. So for us, I think that makes it a little bit easier since we're already here, and you can find us through destination wedding searches or SEO, stuff like that. I think it was a natural step. And on that, aspect of it, I think we have a little bit of an edge against other American videographers, because it's so much more expensive for you to fly out here than for us to go anywhere else around here. Yeah.
Yes. And obviously Portugal is beautiful too. You just have all this beautiful stuff. Like Americans are always like, how can we get to Europe because it's so beautiful? Like, and so just in your backyard, it's like, I live in the middle of the country, and to fly to LA is probably a 4 or 5 hour ordeal with a layover, connects through somewhere and takes half a day to get there. Similar to you taking a flight to Italy or wherever.
Greece.
To Greece, probably.
Yeah, 4 hours we're in Greece, and like Portugal to Greece is like all across Europe, and that's 4 hours. So
yes, yeah, and so I see that, like, you get into some of these markets, you put an effort into networking, getting to know people. Meanwhile, you're still honing in on your craft and making your films even better. And so every year it's like, oh man, we're the best. We've like, this is now we're the best. And it's like, you get all this new work. Like now we've arrived, or now, and like I see it, like you're saying, with people seeing, oh, that American couple was there with Vanessa and Ivo over in this. There's like 6 or 7 of these weddings, or Canadians, or it's like, okay, I trust that they're going to show up, and you've built this, this audience
Trust.
of people that are trust, yes, and just taking that and then saying, okay, how can we now we're in this location, how can we use this skill we've been building for 15 years to like take it another level, and so it gets to this point to where the flywheel is spinning so much that I'm sure now that life looks a lot different when it comes to marketing than it did in 2012 or 13. I'm sure you're still doing a lot of the things to show up with SEO or paid ads or things like that. But maybe tell us a little bit about the kinds of inquiries, how you're getting inquiries now. Like, how are people finding you? Is it different than it was 8 or 9 years ago? Do you feel like now more and more leads are coming in and they're ready to book you? And if so, what do you attribute to that?
Well, there's, I would like to tell you 2 things. One is 2020 was what it was. And we had lots of free time because we didn't have any work of weddings. We didn't do any wedding in 2020. So Ivo took time to like review our website and make a new website with time. So we were starting looking like, okay, the thing that we always say the others to do, we think that we do it like not very planned. We were like, okay, we want to get like elegant weddings. We want to get like high-end weddings. We want our clients to pay us well. We want to do like, we want cool dresses. We want these palaces, because we have lots of palaces in Portugal. It's a thing. I don't know why, but we have it. We have lots of palaces. So we want that elegant vibe, that like we didn't knew it then, but we wanted the elegant and the fashionable vibe there's always in weddings. Everybody's very well dressed. Has their makeup done and their hair done, so they're looking their best. And we have we're lucky to point a camera, and usually people are very beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're happy. That's why we like destination weddings, because everyone's on vacation. They're far away from home. They're having lots of fun, so they're drinking and they're dancing, and they enjoy talking to us because they're like, oh, you're from Portugal. Oh, let me ask you things about, I don't know, anything. So they're very happy, and it's very easy. You point a camera to a couple or to a guest, and they're very beautiful, and they're happy, and they're smiling. So we try to put like, okay, we're choosing this video, and we want just these weddings. And we noticed that, and we were like choosing the words, those things we hear in workshops, like choose words for your business, for your type of wedding video. And keywords. And we were like, okay, we want intimacy, we want elegance, we want, I don't know what, there were 3. It was romantic, intimacy, and elegance.
Elegance, yeah.
And suddenly the couples that were like booking meeting video calls with us in 2020.
But I just
Sorry,
have
go
to
for
add
it.
that we, like Vanessa said, we started a new website from the
Zero,
ground up.
yeah.
And then we literally had 3 wedding films on our front page. And that was it. We just picked the 3 wedding films that we felt were most aligned with what we wanted to do. And we just focused on that. And then, like Vanessa was saying, we created the title of the video and the text around the feeling that we wanted to convey and the type of wedding that we wanted to do. And eventually, since new clients, when they arrived at our website, all they saw was that, we started to, focus more on that type of client, because they identified themselves with what we did. And if they didn't, they just closed the page and looked for someone else.
And they started, and the funny thing was, we had some couples saying, "Oh, I love the elegance of your wedding video, and I feel they're very romantic, and there's an intimacy." We had one girl that said this, and we were looking at her, and we're like, okay.
Yeah,
and we were like doing like that. Did you see what she said?
She said the words.
She said the words. And
Like,
when she was like, we were like, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Do you want to ask us something?" And she was like, "I have a few things I want to say to you, and I have a few questions." And she picked up a paper and she started like saying things. And she was like, "Do you want to add anything?" And we were like, "No. You sold us. Like, you said everything that we wanted to tell you about our wedding films. You already said it. I want happy people. I want beautiful people. I want to have fun. I want to be romantic. I want to be elegant." And we were like, "It's done." It was very easy, and that was something.
yeah, and the thing, one of the things that we're most envious about photographers is they can do like an amazing wedding or a not so amazing wedding, but they, in the end, if they have like one amazing picture, they can just use that. And for video, it's not the same. You have to create something with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have to choose a song, and it's so much work. But we decided to maybe invest a little bit more on really shorter videos, like those 1-minute videos, and try to have a faster turnaround on those, to feed our social media.
And at the same time, we started showing more our longer videos, like 20-minute video. Our 20-minute video, they're not like chronological. They're a bit like a highlight, 3 to 5 minutes. But they have 20 minutes, but they're interesting.
We tried. I mean, you know this. It's very difficult if you're getting married and you look at the work of 10 different videographers and you just look at 5-minute videos. At some point, they all start to feel a little bit similar, and we decided to focus a little bit more on the shorter ones, like 1 minute, just to get that initial inquiry going, and then we tried to show that we could be a little bit different by showing the longer format videos. Like, okay, so this is what we can create. And I feel like we stepped way like far away from your question, but
That's fine.
yeah.
No, it's a marketing part.
Yeah, we started getting more inquiries from Instagram recently.
Like 2 years now.
Yeah, in the past 2 years, it's very, very common to get like a first contact through your social media, from Instagram specifically. The inquiries we got from our website are really, really focused, because we only show the type of work that we want to do more in the future on our website. We have a very long questions and answers area on our website. So we try to educate the client. Once they reach out to us, they already know a lot about us. It's we still get lots of inquiries where they just want to know the pricing and then they forget about you. But we feel that if you do a little bit more curating on what you post, and you just give a little bit more information on your website, you get higher quality inquiries.
It's very basic. It's the thing that we always hear about other people saying, but it works. It kind of works.
Yeah.
The part that it's getting, I think that it's for the future, it's getting a little bit different. I think it's with Instagram and TikTok and 7-second videos. I don't know. I can't foresee what's happening with wedding videos, because wedding video is you have to sit and watch it. And I don't know if in our clients in 5 years, if they're not educated, it's not easy for them to stay and watch the whole thing.
Yeah. And then once you start traveling more and you start opening new doors, and you step out of your circle, you start meeting new people, you start meeting new photographers, new DJs, new wedding planners, and then all of a sudden your universe spreads out, and sorry,
He's very Italian when he's talking.
So your networking starts to grow up, and you also start to get different inquiries as well. I think it's very similar. If you're in New York and you only work with vendors from New York, you're limiting yourself to, and you're probably only getting inquiries from New York couples or couples that want to get married in New York. I think that's a little bit like that as well. So to answer your question, 10 minutes later, sorry,
It's great.
we're getting lots of inquiries from Instagram.
And the website.
And our website. And we're also getting a lot more inquiries from wedding planners. I think that we probably reached a segment of the market where the couples depend a little bit more on wedding planners. So that initial contact comes from them as well.
And he's saying this because in Portugal, it's not very common to have, like for a Portuguese couple, it's not very common to have a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Even if you have like a high-end wedding, it's not very common, because here venues take care of almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like hearing all that, and I like the answer. It was great. I love hearing more of it. And I think it's kind of, when you look at the story of the two of you, understanding the background of what each of you do for the brand, how much time and effort and energy you've put into honing in the skill to shoot weddings and to take them to the next level, and to have the audio and the video and the color and the framing and all of that mixed together with time. And then the rebrand, or the new website in 2020, taking that time, which you weren't even expecting to have off, to say, how can we get these key words into the core, the DNA of who we are? And the romantic, or that kind of, like when you're saying those 3 keywords, absolutely, that's exactly what your website is pointing at. And all of that has to match up for people. If they see one of your amazing films in Italy, but then they go to your website and it's wonky, or if it's super quirky or super, and it feels like, why are there pictures of cats on this? Or why do we, if it doesn't match, with what you're aiming at, people are going to be confused. And as more and more millennials or Gen Z kind of people are spending their time on TikTok or Instagram, it makes sense that the initial inquiries, a lot of them are coming from Instagram and social media. And that in itself has to be a representation. We say it a lot on the podcast that it's kind of the curb appeal, or, looking from the outside of the house, does it look beautiful on the outside? Yes. Okay. I might go knock on the door and see what it looks like on the inside in the website. And so it's like the social media is kind of that drive up, looking at it and saying, okay, I like this, I want to know more. And then if you invite them in and it's nothing like what's on the outside, it's like, wait a sec, this doesn't match. But then you get inside, you get to know, okay, this is the more that you're there, the more that you see, the more you like. And then that is what leads to more and more people. And I say it a lot, it's kind of like an upward cycle every year. Like you get better weddings, more relationships, better work, and then you go around the sun again. And it's like the next year more people are seeing that better work, and then it's justifying the price. It's helping people see like, well, yeah, it's expensive, but look what you get. And it starts with that luck that you said, a little bit of luck mixed with a lot of hard work, a lot of diligence, and then over time it turns into what it is today. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about just like you said, the wedding market in Portugal was a lot of bad audio, a lot of I'm sure that, as I've heard from a lot of my European friends, wedding filmmaking 10 years ago wasn't looked at as a high priority. People weren't paying a lot, and still today it feels pretty far behind a lot of other places on how much people are willing to pay and things like that. So why don't you talk to me a little bit just about the price that's pretty average where you're at, and then kind of where you started, and then as much as you want to talk about what you're charging today for the experiences that you're giving people.
The price where we started, it's very good. It was like 250 euros.
Yes.
That's like almost the same in dollars. So
Sure.
just to
More
get
or less.
Yes.
And
For
this
those
was-
out there, yes.
So this was the initial bookings that we did for like a local photographer.
Let me just try to give some context to one thing. I think that we really get lots of Americans coming to Europe. And one thing that I find very different is that I think it's normal that in your culture, every important step in your life, it's being photographed and filmed. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't happen here throughout Europe. So you have you have high school, you have seniors. You have senior shoots, is that?
Yep, senior photos, senior portraits.
We don't have that. It's just an example that I always see, like American photographers. Once in a while, they're talking in Facebook groups or Instagram or whatever. It's not a thing that we have here. We're not so used to every step of our lives are being photographed and filmed. And I think that's why maybe in Europe there's not. I think people don't give that much attention to wedding film and even wedding photography. They think, it's just one thing.
Yeah, it's just mostly for the social reportage. I just want to pictures with my friends and the ceremony, and that's it. And the influx of Americans wanting to get married in Europe changed that a little bit. For instance, in our case, for our films, speeches aren't really a thing here. That's mostly an American thing, and it shaped a little bit the way that we work. And with pricing, it's the same, because we were used to having to charge really, really low prices, because it wasn't a priority for most Portuguese couples. Because when we started, we dealt mostly with Portuguese couples, and then it changed a lot. Suddenly we had clients with higher budgets and higher interest in having a nice wedding video. So that allowed us to gradually raise our pricing. We're not even close to what you guys charge in America. But
what do you think it's the normal price for wedding video in Portugal?
In Portugal, I would say that you can get like a really, really good videographer for somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500. Mm-hmm. You can get a really, really good videographer. And it's roughly the same with photography. I think that other countries, it grows a little bit. Like in Spain, it's like 10% higher. If you go to France, it's like 30% higher. It really depends on the economy of those specific places. But in our case, we at the moment our pricing starts at around 4,500, like for the minimum 5-minute video, one videographer, and it can go up to 9,000 depending of if you want like the day before, if it's two videographers, a longer video. But you can add stuff on top of it if you want to. But I would say on our case, on average, around 8,000. And the thing is that if you take, you talked about Ricardo and other European videographers. If you take like the best, they are charging more than that. And you have some videographers and photographers here charging like insane numbers. But I know that our average is a lot lower than yours. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's interesting to get that context. And I think a lot of, we are American. Nick and I both live in America. We've been out of the country each 4 or 5 times. It's not like we're world travelers as much. And so our context a lot of the time is through the eyes of an American. And so it's really good to have other points of view, because we're not in Europe. We don't live there. We've been there. Nick's there today, actually. He's in Italy. But yeah, I know. I'm jealous. He just sent a text saying he had the best pizza of his whole life, and it was just plain cheese. And I was like,
he probably maybe we'll need that because we have like a Google map with best places to eat.
So if you can send a recommendation.
Okay, we'll do that. I think he's filming near Tuscany. He's in Rome today, but in
Rome, there's a good pizza in Rome.
Okay, you should tell me because I'll tell him what it is. But it's like I loved when I got to go to Positano and film in the Amalfi Coast. It's like I love this. I want more of that. That was like one of my very first really good destination weddings with an American couple that brought 15 friends, and we went to Capri and we went to the Blue Grotto and we went and tasted pizza and we toured, and it was just like, I want more of this, please. I need more of this. And so like being able to get somebody on that, and that's why we love having people on from all over the world, just to give different perspectives. But a lot of times in our Facebook group or things, we'll be like, well, what do you charge? And a lot of people are like 10,000 or 15,000, whatever. And a lot of our European friends are like, there's no way we could charge that over here. And that's like what we say to them is like, yeah, you're right. Currently, what can we do to show that value to people that are currently there? Or what can we do to get you in a market where either people are coming in for destinations, or because there are big weddings happening. I know Nick is getting paid quite well to go to Italy this week. And so, and a lot of our American friends are coming over and filming weddings, destination weddings and stuff as well. But having that context is really important. And to look at it, it's like if you're charging 8,000 or 9,000 and the average high end is 2,500, I mean, that's 300% more than the best is what you guys are charging. So you should be so proud of where you're at, and it should.
Oh no, we are, and
yes,
we actually have a Discord group, and one of the catchphrases is "Have you risen your prices yet today?" It's so we're always pushing for that, and we're very happy to be in the place that we are. I was just giving context.
Yes. I didn't think you weren't. Sorry. I was just saying that, like, I'm just giving you an attaboy or a compliment, because like that is something very admirable to be where you all are at, and just to see, as I've followed you for a little while, the work continues to grow, the network continues to grow, and it's cool to see going from 250 euros to 8,000 or more or whatever. And so before we wrap up today, anything that you guys want to make sure that we talk about before we kind of wrap up? We're running out of time, but I wanted to, if there's anything back in the back of your minds you wanted to make sure we hit on, any extra thoughts, I'd be glad if you have any.
I just wanted to give you and Nick like a big thumbs up, because what you're doing is, I think it's really commendable.
Thank you.
To have the YouTube channel, to have the podcast. We're really big advocates of the power of community, and whatever you put out there, you will get in return multiplied. And I actually didn't give you this answer back when you asked it, but I can also tell you that one of the reasons that we stay sharp is because we surround ourselves always with new people. And I think that's very important. before we started, you asked us if there was anything that we shouldn't talk about, and we told you that we can talk about anything. And that's the thing. We're always willing to talk about anything with anyone. We're always willing to share, and we want people to get better, to charge more, because if things are good, they are usually good for everyone in the industry. And so this is just to say to you and Nick, while he's having pizza in Italy, that we're big fans, and we really applaud what you guys are doing. And we're also big advocates of the power of community as well.
I love to hear that, and I appreciate the compliments, and likewise to you. I know that you all have workshops, and I know you have education of your own. I would love for you, if you have any place for people where they can get more info about your workshops, would that just be your website, or what's the best way, or are there any exciting things coming up that you want to make sure our audience knows about? I know you have LUTs, I know you have templates, I know you have all kinds of stuff, but are there any big things or anything you wanted to make sure we communicate to the audience that you've got going on?
Not really.
No, we don't
Not
have
that
anything planned.
You're too nice.
I mean, if someone's interested, they can just go to our website. We have like an education option. I don't know. And if someone's interested out there, they can just reach out to us and we can discuss it. Last year we were in Pittsburgh and we did a 1-to-1 with
Two brothers
that were just starting out. So I mean, it can happen. Just drop us a line.
Pittsburgh. You came to America and you went to Pittsburgh? I mean,
to do a wedding.
A wedding. It was awesome.
Okay, good.
For us, it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about Pittsburgh. I love my Pittsburgh friends. It's like, I didn't know a European couple coming over to America. It feels like it's usually, Los Angeles or Miami or New York or Chicago. Pittsburgh.
It was Pittsburgh, and it was online. Like, she found us on Reddit.
Yeah. They were American.
So cool.
They found us on Reddit, yeah.
That's incredible. I'm sure that was great. Did you say you did one in New York as well? Or
we did one in New York.
We did one in New York, yeah.
In the city or like upstate?
No, it was...
maybe upstate down? I don't know. Don't ask me about geography in the United States.
It would have to be up, yeah. New York City is at the bottom of it, yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was... I don't...
It doesn't matter.
Well, if you're ever back in the States, hit us up. We'll come find you or something. But if you do not follow Vanessa and Ivo, it's basically Vanessa and Ivo on Instagram, and that's IVO. So Vanessa and IVO, Ivo. Their work is ridiculous. I'm just honored to have spent the last hour with you. I thank you so much for your time. If you're not watching on YouTube, you missed out on some incredible outfits that you just didn't get to see. But if you all ever need anything in the future, please let us know. You've got a new friend for sure. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much. We're grateful.
Thank you for having us.
That was great. Good job. Well, thank you so much to you, Vanessa and Ivo, for being here today, dropping that knowledge just about how you've grown your brand, how you pay so close of attention to getting incredible footage and telling incredible stories. Be sure to check them out on Instagram at Vanessa and Ivo. That's IVO to do Ivo there at the end. See their work and tell me it's not just ridiculously amazing. With that being said, I did want to mention to you our Facebook community. If you search the How to Film Weddings Facebook group on Facebook, you can check it out. We're about 17,000 strong now, and the group is growing. Hundreds of new people are joining a week. We do a weekly thread where you can watch wedding films and critique each other. We have all kinds of conversation going on in there. And honestly, the mission of How to Film Weddings is to elevate the wedding industry, and that is what we are doing in that group and in this community. We are here for you. We are answering questions. We want you to grow as a wedding filmmaker. That's why we continue to have this free podcast. That's why we continue to try to give you the best education you can so that you can film weddings that you love, charge the price that you want, and not get burned out doing this amazing job that we get to do. So with that, have an awesome week. We'll see you next week. And I said we'll see you next week, but until next time, we'll see you. If you are like most wedding filmmakers, you are constantly fighting against being completely overwhelmed from your backlog. We get it, and that is why we are so excited to bring you howtofilmweddings.com/outsourcing, a brand new place for you to find some of the best editors on the planet to help you get out from under the weight of your backlog. And the best part is we have personally vetted these companies to ensure that you aren't wasting your time finding editors. Whether you are looking for full-blown editors like Wedditor or brideandgroom.video, or if you're just needing someone to cull your films like Wedding Post House, we have a solution for you. So head over to howtofilmweddings.com/outsourcing to check out our curated list of outsourcing experts today. That's howtofilmweddings.com/outsourcing.